Farming families finally get mains electricity after 50 years. Half a century ago, people living in one of the most remote areas of England made a plea to be connected to mains electricity. Now, at last, some of the current hardy residents can experience joys such as hair straighteners on demand and not having to plan cups of tea. The farms and cottages of the Upper Coquet Valley in Northumberland have always been off-grid, reliant on noisy expensive generators. From a window of one of those farmhouses, Shona Anderson looks out onto a view generations of families in the area thought might never exist. A row of newly erected electricity poles. "I was at work and Scott, my husband, rang and said, 'It's live, we're on mains power,' and I hardly dared believe it," Shona says. "I keep flicking the lights on and off and thinking that's mains power." For generations of the Anderson family have lived in the valley, but in recent times Shona, Scott and their 3 sons have rented a house elsewhere, with Scott returning each day to work on the farm. There were structural problems with the farmhouse, but they also got tired of a generator that often broke down. "We would sometimes book a caravan somewhere when that happened," Shona says, "just to have power. It was like living in the olden days," her son TJ adds. Having to go out in the dark every time the generator conked out. Mains electricity means they are back in the house Scott's grandmother was born in, and he has a legacy to cement. "I want to build the farm up and see future generations here," Scott says. TJ wants to take it on, and mains power will make life easier for him and those after him. The valley missed out on the electrification programs of the 20th century. For many years, the community of fewer than 50 people dotted along a single-track road winding into the Cheviot Hills was told a connection would be too expensive. But when the government decided an electricity supply was needed to 3 emergency telecommunication masts in the valley, an opportunity arose to connect many of the properties too. Funds for the project were then found by the Home Office and Ministry of Defense, MOD, which owns the land. The valley is within the Northumberland National Park, and its planning authority initially wanted all the lines buried. A compromise was agreed which saw the construction of 9 miles, 15 kilometers, of overhead line and 3 miles, 4.7 kilometers, go underground. Among the homes connected so far are 2 that were formerly served by a single generator. The shared source meant neighbors J.C. Charlton and Catherine Singer could never boil the kettle at the same time because it would plunge them both into darkness. "It's happened," they confirm as they watch an engineer switch their energy supply from the generator to mains. "Hair straighteners, I wouldn't dare put them on if the kettle was on too," says J.C.